What's good, everybody? It's BBKDRAGOON. Today we're talking about tilt and how you can avoid it. Tilt is when you get emotionally frustrated or angry. It leads to poor decision making, and it can then snowball out of control into giant losing streaks, and we don't really want to have that happen. An example in Destiny 2 would be you're solo queuing, you match nothing but teams of 4, and they're really good, and you keep losing, and you get angrier, and as you get angrier, you stop making logical choices, and you start making choices based off of those emotions, and we don't want that. Because as you get more emotionally upset, it's literally a chemical reaction in your brain, and it blocks your ability to think logically. It blocks your ability to play to the degree that you are capable of playing. And everybody from beginner to pros deal with tilt. Now, the pros usually get a lot better at dealing with tilt, but even like the greatest professional players of all times, like, have these moments and these streaks where they play badly because they can't get their emotions under control. So number one, every game is a chance to improve. You can get better with every game you play, or you can get angrier with every game you play. You have to think of it like this, especially if you're just matchmaking and you're solo queuing. Every single match that you play is an opportunity to get better, win or loss. So even if you are getting stomped, if you have an open mind and can sort of look back at the match and dictate to yourself, what happened? Why did they play so well? Where did I make the biggest mistakes? What could I have done differently? If you can look at every match in that light, it's a lot more of a positive experience than just feeling like, man, I lost 3 games in a row today. What a waste of time. If your only goal when you get on is to win and you're solo queuing, you're gonna have a horrible experience, not just in Destiny 2, but in virtually any team shooter out there. You have to learn to be okay with being proud of the decisions that you made within a match, even if you lose that match. And then also being capable of looking at the decisions that were bad within that match, the mistakes that you made in that match, and learning from them, win or loss. You're going to lose matches, period, especially solo. So what matters is how well you played within that match, the decisions that you made. Even against a stacked team of 4 high-end players, you can make a difference as a strong solo player. But your decision making really has to be on point. So even if you're a solo queue player, man, and you're running into like a full squad of Triple Wreck and his crew, you can make a difference as a solo player. I'm not saying you can always win those matches, but you can make good decisions. You know, for inexperienced players, honestly, the number one mistake beginners and intermediate players make is poor decision making, and they repeat these poor decisions over and over and over again. A lot of times the newer players think, well, if I just had a little bit better tracking, a little bit better accuracy, I'd just be as good as these guys. And 98% of the time, man, it's poor decision making, and it's an inability to learn from those. Number 2, you have to recognize when you are on tilt. If you start getting frustrated, you really need to be aware of it, register it in your brain, and either try and push those emotions aside and try and play to the fundamentals that you know work, or take a break. Take a break from the game. Even just 5 minutes away from the controller or the keyboard is enough to get your body settled down and get your head back in place to where it needs to be. Don't queue up another match, maybe run to the tower, maybe go run a strike or something. Take a short break if you feel tilt coming on. Have realistic expectations, man. The best players in the world at top competitive games have like a win-loss of 55%. Okay, they lose almost half of their matches. When we talk about, like, in StarCraft, Flash, the greatest player of all time, he wins like 56 or 57% of his matches, okay? He still loses almost half of them. And that's going to be the case for you as well. Even as you get better and better and the SBMM gets better at matching you against harder folks, you're still going to be losing a little less than half if you're like rocking that 55-60% win-loss ratio. Don't make massive changes to your fundamentals mid-match. This is a huge problem when you start tilting and nothing's going right in the match. Oftentimes you're like, well, this isn't working, I need to change guns, and then I need to change guns again, or maybe I need to be ultra aggressive, and this strat isn't working, and it can lead to you just flopping around like a fish the entire match, man. Stick to the fundamentals, stick to what you know works. Don't make massive game-changing shifts mid-match. Save those for in orbit, because it's hard to discern what is going to be an effective shift. Obviously, if there's like a counter to a weapon set that you want to use, go for it, but don't make sweeping changes across the board mid-match just based on your frustration. And the biggest one here is don't blame others. If you blame others for your losses, if you blame others for getting angry, it's A, going to feed into that anger and that tilt more, and then B, it totally negates what point number 1 was. Every game is a chance to improve. You're gonna lose matches, sometimes because your teammates did not play up to snuff. Period. That's just how it is in team games. However, you're never gonna be able to look yourself in the face and go, I did everything perfectly. I made every correct decision. Not even the best players on earth in any competitive game can ever do that. There is no such thing as the perfect game. You ask every top pro player their best match and they will tell you, yeah, I could have done this a little different here, that a little different there. That's how it is with every single match. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please let me know by thumbsing the video up. Thanks for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed, please subscribe for more, and let me know what tips or remedies you guys use when you feel the tilt coming on. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk with you next time.